Welcome to Fox Encounter. I am your host, Fox. Please consider taking a few seconds to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and share it with your friends. Stay tuned for more content and enjoy the episode.
And now, suspense.
I was going to try to put something in the background, but...
make it more visually interesting.
yeah, but I'm like, you know what? I like this guerrilla style.
It feels authentic and real.
Yeah. I don't gotta dress it up. I should get a green screen though. Put something really stupid in the background. Every episode, put something really stupid in the background.
That would be cool. Always wanted the green screen.
All right, so welcome back to what do we'll call this season 2 of the TEX'n'FOX Show. We got I think 18 episodes out of the last one. Three and a half hours of content. Man,
that was fun.
I should just drop that whole video one day. Just 3.5 hours of us just talking nonsense. So how you been, Tex?
You know what they say. Same different underwear, so it's not bad.
And how's your break from YouTube going?
Oh, it's peaceful. Honestly, I love it. It's because it's not that stressful. So all I do is just I go to the gym and I go to work and I come back and I'll just go for a walk, go for a hike, and other various white people activities and like that, you know. So it's been really peaceful. I mean, I don't have Twitter anymore either. I deleted that 6 months ago, I think. So it's been really peace of mind, at ease now.
No matter what you do, I feel like everyone should take it like at least a couple days, week, month, or whatever off of social media and just stuff like that, and just go out and touch grass, as they say.
Yeah.
Hello, average Twitter users. And today we're going to be doing something none of you have ever done before.
Literally, yeah, just go outside and relax. Especially now, it's fall, it's beautiful out, it's probably 100 degrees where you are, but it's still nice.
Oh yeah, there's days where it's really nice, and then it'll get windy as hell. I'm like, oh, this is nice, and then the next day, just pure heat, and I'm like, all right.
That was fun.
Because I've been waiting for the weather to get a little better, or at least some clouds, so I can go back to playing basketball. I would bury myself into this, and I felt like that was super unhealthy. And that's when I just kind of stopped doing a lot of the stuff. Then I kind of lost interest a bit. Once, like I said, I go through many lapses of times where it just feels like a chore, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this. It started with my computer, the one I'm on right now. It just started having way too many issues. Whenever I was on my software, to edit my videos, it would just crash every 5 minutes. And I'm saving every 10 minutes. But you can't do that a lot of times because you get into the zone and I'm editing shit, and then all of a sudden, boom, crash, and I just lose everything. So after a while, I was like, yeah, I gave up, honestly. I still have 2 interviews with some actors that I have never even put out, and I recorded those back in May because it was just so frustrating to do. But I've been in contact with them and just been like, hey, it's coming. It's just that, and so many factors going on that I haven't really talked about, but I'll talk about it with you, is that that happened. There's so many things happening at once where I'm just you know what? I'm just going to step back, chill, and just enjoy life. So that happened. Yeah. I was having issues with my computer, and then the writer's strike happened, and then the actor's strike. So that also in a way was a blessing, because it's well, technically I can't put this content out because it's promoting things right now that haven't come out, that will that I think in my my professional way was, I don't want to ruin somebody's opportunity to get more work if I put this out right now.
Yeah,
because
I saw the whole thing now. It's if you do that, you're seen as a traitor or something like that, right?
Yeah,
going against the cause or something.
And so I saw that, and I was like, me being I know a lot of people that like to talk on the actor-writer strike, but I mean, I'm actually in contact with a lot of writers and actors, so I know what's going on, and I don't want to be that guy and be like, oh, okay, I'll put this out, and we're promoting something that they're in, and then that fucks up their future projects in some way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So out of respect, I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. And I let them know, like, hey, I have it. I'm sitting on it. When it's cool to put it out, I'll do that. But right now, like the climate of everything going on right now, it just doesn't seem right to do that. And so then, like, I also had a conversation that I had maybe 3 or 4 other episodes that I recently put out, back to back. My buddy D Movie Man. Yeah. I had a really good conversation with that guy. Like me and him had some like really good introspective conversation. Super intelligent guy. Like, we just had some really good talks. And I was like, it doesn't seem right to not put this out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to boot up my computer. Like my computer was like, it was in the corner. It was like dusty. I'm going to like reboot everything. I'm going to get rid of this software that I have that I use for editing, re-download it, and whatever I got to do. If I got to resubscribe to it, I don't give a damn. We're just going to reboot everything. And it worked. So I was like, all right, cool. Like the first time I booted it up, I'm just like, come on, don't crash, don't crash.
It's a sign. It was a sign that it's good to go now.
Yeah. And in between that time that I wasn't doing anything, playing basketball a lot, I wanted to get back into that. And then it got way too hot here. And I was like, the last time I went out there, bro, like I swear I almost caught like a heat stroke. So then after that, I'm like, well, I can't play basketball. And that's my only form of getting out and being active at the moment.
Right.
So then while I'm at home, I start doing yoga. Like, it's just so funny to like say that, but I just started like doing yoga and I was like, you know what? Like, I really like this. It calms me. It's helping me feel better. Like, I was having like back problems at work and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something. Like, I don't know if it's going to work. I've been told like yoga works, but I'm like, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? I was one of those guys. Not going to lie. I was one of those guys. I was like, yoga. And so I was like, you know what? My back really hurts. So I'm willing to do whatever I need to do right now. So I'm not in constant pain every day at work.
Right.
So I did it for like 2 weeks straight. And it got to the point where that anybody who has struggled with back problems knows that like you just deal with it every day. But it got to the point where I forgot that my back was hurting. Like I realized like I'd gone like weeks without having any kind of back problems. I was like, that's crazy, And so I just kept up with it. And like, I mean, I feel good, man.
That's good. I feel after going to the gym so much, I feel good. I am currently on a diet. So I spent like 5, maybe 6 months bulking up. So I was 190 originally. And then I went up to about 210 almost after about 5 months. And now I'm in a calorie. They call it a cut, but I'm not doing it as well as an actual bodybuilder would cut. So I'm just in a calorie deficit now. So I'm eating like 2,000 calories a day when I was eating like 3,300. And now I'm down to 186. So it's working. I'm going to keep going until probably the end of the year, then just go back to normal after that for a bit. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, something to do too.
Yeah.
Sucks some days. Like today, no my lunches. My lunch is 2 protein bars. That's it. That's my lunch. So it sucks, but it's fun. But honestly, going to the gym and just watching anime is all I've been doing. It's peaceful. I think I still check Instagram and see what's going on, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, how do you, with taking breaks from like social media a lot, like how do you keep up with movie related stuff where you just kind of like slow down on it? Yeah.
I mean, I have multiple YouTube channels like personal use, and the one that I use to watch all the movie related stuff is my actual Text account. I'm not logged into that on my phone usually. That one I use on my computer mostly. So on my phone, I don't get a lot of movie stuff. And I think recently I switched over because I made a post about Rebel Moon. But then once I made the post, I just logged out into my other accounts that all follow like video games and music and stuff. So I've been mainly just doing that. So I've been out of the loop about what's happening in the movie world for a while. Especially the comic book world, which I'm happy I got all that, because that started to suck anyway, so...
Yeah, I saw a lot of that coming. So I think I'd been telling you too, like I was just like, man, like a lot of movies suck nowadays, and it's just getting kind of like boring. And I lost interest a while back, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. I think probably further back than you did. Like, I think I was just kind of like whatever on it like a while back.
The last big good thing, I think, was the Snyder Cut being released. That was like the most hype in a while, Like in terms of like, people actually getting together and talking about it. Last time before that was Infinity War and Endgame. It's like the hype was fun. But then right after that dropped, and then Warner Bros. And DC did nothing because they wanted to do the reboot. There's been no hype to really match that or Infinity War. It's like after that, it's just You get okay movies, like Shang-Chi was okay for the most part. Doctor Strange was really fun. I think it's an acquired taste because that one's it's goofy as shit, but like really, it's gonna be good. Something is good, something is bad, but like those are the last like decent ones. And all the shows suck. Like my god, like don't get me started on those damn shows. I tried watching them with a friend, and I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. He wanted me to watch Loki season 2 with him, so I sat down, watched a little bit of Loki season 2. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, this sucks. Like I can't watch this, bro. And he's like, what's wrong? He's one of those guys that he has to be in the loop, or else he feels like he's missing out. So he's watched all the shows, even though he doesn't like them. He watched She-Hulk, even though he didn't like it. He watched Secret Invasion, even though he didn't like it. But he loves Loki season 1. I didn't. And then he was actually hyped for Loki season 2. I'm watching it with him. I'm like, this ain't it, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, see, I'm not one of those like comic book fans that like feel like they have to be in the loop of everything. Because I tried watching for the longest time. I just really didn't watch a whole lot of Marvel movies. Pretty much post like Endgame or whatever. I was just kind of like whatever. I watched them here and there, and then I took like a month watching every Marvel movie that I hadn't watched, like Black Widow and Shang-Chi, Eternals,
I remember
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, about that.
I could have gone without watching these. Like,
yeah,
like, I didn't feel like I was missing out or anything. I was like, all right.
I mean, because they're not. They're not missing. I know, like, the big thing, I was talking to my friend about this. The big thing was Kang the Conqueror is the new big bad for the Avengers in their next team-up movie. And he swore up and down, you had to watch Loki season 1 because he's at the end, right? So I watched it. He's in it for like, I don't know, 15 minutes. He gets defeated, but not really because he's multiple versions, whatever. Anyway, he gets defeated. And he's like, see, now they introduced him. But then he gets reintroduced in the Ant-Man movie anyway. So you didn't have to watch Loki to even understand what was happening in Ant-Man because he gets reintroduced. Yeah. So it's like, that's how, looking back on it, now that you can, like, even phase 2 and 3 was like this, you didn't really need to watch all of them. You only had to watch like a handful of them to get what's going on because they usually fill in the blanks anyway, or it just doesn't matter.
Don't matter. None of this matters.
And that's how the shows are, honestly. They always keep saying this is going to be important. This is, Secret Invasion is going to change everything. But let's be honest, it's just not. Like the Winter Soldier, when they in the Winter Soldier, SHIELD got dismantled, but in Age of Ultron, they're fine. These are not SHIELD anymore, but like they still have those giant like sky things, the giant helicopters that like took everyone off that giant island. So it's like, or the giant piece of the town that was in the sky in Age of Ultron at the end. So it's like, so it didn't really matter. It didn't change anything. So what's it matter?
None of this matters.
I remember back in the day that I don't know how true it is, but probably is now, knowing how Disney does their stuff or whatever. But I originally heard that the guys who wrote, was it the Russos that wrote Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did that purposely to like kill off the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show because they hated it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, the show wasn't that good anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, because that was directly tied to the movies, supposedly. I never watched it. But even in the show, like they had to acknowledge the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s kind of done for, and then it's like, well, where do these characters go then,
Nowhere. I watched a little bit of season 1. I think I finished season 1. Basically, they just kind of follow the events that happen in the movies. So it's like they hear about Thor wrecking the small town in his first movie. They would go look into the small town later on. Captain America's girlfriend, she had her own show for a while too, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Something Carter?
Agent Carter?
Agent Carter, yeah. It ran for like a season or 2. And it's like, did I need that? No.
I think they wanted to capitalize on like her popularity at the time. I recently saw her in the new Mission Impossible movie, and she's great in that movie. And it got me thinking like, but they're not giving her the proper projects. Because I saw her in Mission Impossible and I was like, damn, this woman's really good. But then I remember back at everything that I've seen her in previous, and I'm like, she was just kind of bland and just kind of...
Everything else?
Yeah, I was like, she's okay, I guess. But I was like, why? Like, that just goes to show that like there's so much like potential for people, but they just do not get the proper push or the proper like material to work with.
That's how I feel about an Aquaman movie. He plays Black Manta. Yahya Abdul-Mateen III.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a good actor. The Third. That's a cool ass name though. It's a cool ass name. But same thing with him. Or like an Aquaman and Black Manta. I think he's one of those actors where no matter how poorly written the material is, he's not bad in it.
Mhm.
You know, if that makes sense. It's like that he's everything I've seen him in. Besides, I like the Aquaman. Even in like Candyman, where like
Mhm.
it wasn't that well written of a movie, but he made it work as well as he could. Everyone in that movie was actually good actors.
Oh yeah. He was good.
Yeah, he made it work really well. He's just one of those actors. And in the Michael Bay movie, Ambulance, he was in that too.
Hmm.
It's a Michael Bay film. Come on, but he made it work pretty well. You know, it's not the best written movie, but like he was like Jake Gyllenhaal. He made it work too, even though it just wasn't that well written, but it worked.
Funny because Jake Gyllenhaal, you can tell, was just having like the time of his life.
I love it. I love him, Jake Gyllenhaal. He's so fun.
Yeah, but like even with like how you mentioned Candyman, like that's one of those movies that's it's so well shot and it looks great, and everyone in it does such a good job, but like the writing just falls short. That it's like damn.
Like yeah, if in better hands, it could have been a really good movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought about when I first saw it, and at the end I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I'm happy I didn't see it in theaters. I'll say that. I'm happy I rented it for like I think $2, like because it came out on like streaming services like like 2 years ago. Such a well shot, well made movie, just with good solid actors, but nothing. The story just didn't. The story and the script it didn't help them at all. And the kills were surprisingly underwhelming, which kind of sucked.
Oh yeah, like I think pretty much all of them except for one was off screen.
Yeah, you're right. And I think the ones that were on screen were like pretty far away.
And it was just like a quick thing, and then it kind of like pans away or whatever.
I know there's a argument to be made that like in the movie they mentioned that like society's obsession with like murder or death or something like that. So I think the in joke was kind of like, yeah, it's an R-rated slasher, but you're not actually seeing the murders. So it's like a meta statement on it or something.
Now that I mentioned like Mission Impossible and stuff and how much I love it, and I just can't wait for the new one. I wish Mission Impossible was, because if we can get 10 and probably more Fast and Furious movies, but we can only get 8 Mission Impossible movies, like
only 8. There's only 8 of them.
I would watch Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible when he's like 80. Like, you know, like they try to do like Indiana Jones, where like Harrison Ford just doesn't have it anymore. I'm sorry, but he don't have the sauce anymore. But I would watch Tom Cruise just try. That's probably why. That's probably why people want to love the new Indiana Jones stuff, because it's like they just love it so much, and they just have so much nostalgia for it, and they love Harrison Ford, that they're like, we just want to support, even if it's bad. Like that's how I feel, I guess, about Mission Impossible. It's like I just want to support, even if it just gets to the point where it's just so bad.